misleading marketplace mistake, buying a car sight unseen. So for those of you who didn't know, about a year and a half ago, I got myself a girlfriend after 10 years of being single. And to make things even more exciting, we fell pregnant only 2 months after meeting. That was about a year and a half ago. So now we have a beautiful little boy who's named Jimmy, who just turned 6 months old yesterday. And my partner Amira has 2 boys of her own, and I've got Thomas, and now we've got Jimmy. So that makes 6 of us, which means that we don't fit into a normal 5-seater car anymore. Amira currently drives a 5-seater Kia Cerato hatch, and I've got the XR50 Falcon. Both cars are not very practical for going out on family day trips. So we started looking around. My missus likes the Kia, so we went and checked out the new Kia Carnival, which is about $65,000 to $85,000 brand new. Our other issue is that our houses are also too small for the whole family, so we need to expand the house. My house at the moment is only a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom, and it's very tight with 4 boys, and her place is only a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom. So we're also looking for a new house. After searching around and thinking about what kind of car we should get, because at the moment when we go for a drive, we need to take 2 cars if we're all together, because we need to save up and buy a new house as well, which everybody knows that's not the cheapest thing to do. I said to her it's stupid buying the Kia Carnival or anything near new. So after looking around at Ford Territories, because I thought it's a perfect car that's kind of cheap to run, parts are accessible. It's probably not cheap to run. Apparently they're pretty bad on fuel, but cheap to get into, parts are cheap as well. I ended up coming across this 2006 Turbo Territory Ghia for sale on Marketplace for only $5,500. I thought to myself, this is too good to be true. Jumped onto it, messaged the guy straight away. I noticed within the first hour, it had 56 people save the listing. As many of you probably know, just the running gear out of this car is probably worth that with the ZF 6-speed transmission. So your naturally aspirated Ford Territories usually just come in rear-wheel drive with a BTR 4-speed transmission and your naturally aspirated engine. The Ford Territory Turbo Ghia has massive 340mm front brakes, bigger wheels, stronger engine, obviously the turbo, intercooler, different computer, all-wheel drive, and the ZF 6-speed transmission. So it's pretty much the highest spec Ford Territory that came out, apart from the FPV F6X, which is the FPV variant of this model. Obviously the car had some stuff wrong with it, but the ad just said needs a few things, all electrics work, needs a front brake caliper and horn, has brand new 20-inch rims, blah blah blah. I just thought for 5.5, come on, can't be that much wrong with it, but I was wrong. Never trust an ad on Marketplace. So I got in contact with the guy selling it, because I was like, this is a car that I'm going to be happy with, something I'm not going to be depressed driving around. At least it's got a little bit of boost, and it's a Barra. I've had heaps of Fords, heaps of Barras, and as you might know, my son and I, Thomas, like to work on cars together, and I thought this would be a good project for us to kind of go through, figure out what's wrong with it, fix it, and get it on the road and enjoy driving around as a family in this car. So I pretty much told the guy that I'll buy it. I said, send me some extra photos. He sent me one of the engine bay, which is looking pretty messy, missing the plastic shroud that goes over the intercooler, and a whole bunch of other things that you can't see from the photos. This is the interior photo he sent me, missing center console lid and handbrake cover. That's a photo of the back seat. There's a photo of the ad. Looks like he's had it up on the stands recently, oil leaking everywhere. Doesn't look pretty. So I went to see the car the day after giving him a $300 deposit. I did all the PPSR checks, made sure it wasn't stolen or ridden off, and they were all good. So one thing that grabs your attention straight away is the big dent in the bonnet. So the Turbo Territories have a different bonnet. They have the bonnet scoop to allow airflow to the top mount intercooler, but apparently these heat soak pretty bad, especially when you turn them up. So a lot of people just change it to front mounts. Here's a little video I did, just waiting for the guy to show up to his friend's house who I was meeting him at. So weird kind of dents in the front end. Didn't really know what that was all about. And the bonnet was a black bonnet. Stocky on the front wheel. This wheel here didn't have a caliper at all, and only being held on by 2 wheel nuts. So I got underneath the car and had a look and realized that the rear diff bushes have been done and the bump stops look like they're fairly new, which was a good sign. However, I did notice a few little random nuts and bolts missing, which is a bit alarming. As you can see, that bracket just hanging off there in the middle of nowhere. I kind of was just putting my phone under the car and trying to take photos of whatever I could. The interior was a complete mess. Center console lid missing. It had cigarette butts in there, a bit of mold in where the cup holders were, dirty leather. Sun visor was hanging off by one bracket. Sunglass console on the roof was missing. Airbag missing, steering wheel on upside down, missing driver's door handle, missing the handbrake cover, scratches and marks all over the dash. As you can see there, it's pretty dirty. On the door trim, he's got his OBD2 scanner in the center console there. However, the leather looks pretty good, just dusty and dirty. So I took the car for a test drive around the block, and the brakes were pretty much non-existent due to it missing a vacuum line off the brake booster. So the brake booster wasn't operational. You had to use all the force just to apply the brake. So pushing down with the leg all as hard as you could just stop the car, which is extremely dangerous. So I just took it around the block pretty slow. Anyway, I pretty much committed on the car already, so gave the guy the rest of the money, and he agreed to drive it home to my girlfriend's house, which was only 5 minutes around the corner. So got an unregistered vehicle permit on it, and he drove it home with 2 wheel nuts on each front wheel and got there. We went past his dad's place and picked up 2 rims also that were matching for the front, which after trying to put them on didn't fit at all, completely wrong offset. I then went online and tried to source some front brakes for this car. So they're actually pretty hard to find, the 340mm Territory turbo brakes. They only come out on the Territory turbos. They're almost like in between the size of a XR6 turbo FG brake and a Brembo brake. But I did find a full set, I think it was for 400, just around the corner from my missus' house. So I went down and picked them up and then got that caliper on the car. After going through the car with Thomas, we realized that this thing was missing heaps of other stuff, and obviously the engine had been out, the ECU was cut out and just quickly put back in. Underneath the car, the tail shaft bolts were just finger tight, was missing random bolts on the diff. The handbrake cable was completely missing. There's the caliper that was completely missing, and rusted brake rotor, obviously due to not driving it. After looking closer, I realized that the front diff bushes were completely shot. You could feel the knocking as you accelerate and brake in the front, the whole front end moving around. And then I did a lot of research on how to fix that. And it is doable at home, but apparently an insanely massive job to do and not really worth trying at home. So got a few quotes on where to get the front diff bushes done. Realized that the car's missing ABS sensors on the front and just had random wires hanging down. The inner guard lining fell off on the way home when the guy was driving and he just ran it over. Super dodgy. There's Thomas playing around with the interior lights, making sure they work, and you can see how the sun visor holder bracket is completely missing. We slowly went around the car just cleaning things up and getting rid of all the mold and dust and cigarette butts and trying to get rid of the smell. Here we are late at night trying to get the brake caliper fixed. So we've got the new rotor on there and Thomas is just fitting the caliper. We tried my XR50 rim on the front, which I think looks cool. However, the tire size is wrong and apparently the load rating on these wheels is not correct, so we couldn't run these. So I'm in the search of finding the original 2006 18-inch turbo Territory wheels, which are like a 5-star design. We also realized that the exhaust manifold on the engine was missing bolts as well, and the car had an exhaust leak. So we took photos of nearly everything that was missing. There's the tail shaft, center bearing, wire which mounts to the body, missing the bolt. Tail shaft bolts were loose, as I said before. So we went to Kilsyth Pick Apart, which was actually amazing because they had a whole bunch of Ford Territories there, which we were able to pick parts off ourselves. So every little nut and bolt that was missing, we grabbed. Handbrake cable we grabbed a 7-seat conversion, because that's another thing. The guy said the car was a 7-seater before I put a deposit on, and I got to the house and it was only a 5-seater, and I said, what's the go, man? You said it's a 7-seater, that's why I pretty much put a deposit on it. And he said, oh no, I've got all the conversion, I've got the 7-seat conversion, but he should have said, you know, got a 7-seat conversion to go with it, not 7-seater, because the car's stamped as a 5-seater. Don't trust what people say online. Anyway, so got the 7-seat conversion, as well, just in case he didn't have the seat belts mounting points and mounting bolts. It uses different trims for the back around the window to have the seat belts come out, which have holes in them. So pick apart's actually pretty good value. If you know what you're doing, you can take the parts off yourself. And we bought heaps of stuff in bulk, so like little nuts and bolts they just gave us for free, which was amazing. So we got our brake vacuum hose. We also noticed the car's missing a turbo boost solenoid, so the boost is not happening correctly. Here's a photo of all the nuts and bolts in the ground, which I thought was pretty cool at Pick Apart over the years of nuts and bolts just falling on the floor. And here's the line of Falcons, heaps of E-series, which I'm guessing not many people come to get parts for anymore, as they're pretty rare. So here's the interior looking a little bit cleaner than we found it. So we ended up getting an airbag as well, popped that in. We found a center console lid that was good enough for now. We also noticed that the rear brake line brackets that mounted the body were missing on our one, so we had to get those off another car. So after doing a bit of research about the front diff bushes, I ended up booking the car in at One Stop Bush Shop in Bayswater, which was amazing. He did my front diff bushes for me. And we also decided to do a SY2 front suspension conversion. So the Series 1 SY Territories are prone to a ball joint failure due to the way the design is. And they only apparently last about 10,000 Ks before they flog out. It was a design flaw. However, the Series 2 SY has a better setup that's safer and lasts a lot longer. So One Stop Bush Shop does this conversion for $1,550, I think, and my front diff bushes Super Pro all round was about $1,200. So here's some shots of all the old parts that come out and the new SY2 conversion in. So if you want any upgrades or need to do your Territory bushes or Falcon bushes, this guy is the man to go to on that side of town. We then had electrical issues when I went to pick the car up. And we had Barra, who's a Falcon and Territory specialist auto electrician who can diagnose fault codes, engine lights, ABS lights, you name it. This guy knows electrical when it comes to Barras. He also does Cayenne upgrades. He did the one in my XR50 as well, which is like getting Apple CarPlay in your Falcon or Territory. So shoot him a message if you need any auto elect work or Cayenne upgrades. I temporarily chucked on my 20-inch FR1 Simmons off my FG because the other wheels didn't suit the car at all and they were unsafe to drive on due to the offset being wrong. These look weird because the tires are too low profile, but it did work for me temporarily just to get the car around. So when Barra Scan came, we ended up trying a different steering column. We put a new starter motor in the car, trying to figure out why this thing wouldn't start, and then we realized that the body loom was slightly unplugged. He was pretty quick to diagnose that, which was good, saved us a bit of time. And he also cleared a few of my engine codes and got my ICC working properly because originally the car had a security code error. So yeah, this car needed a lot more than a brake caliper and a horn. Just my luck with cars, I guess. This is what happens when you just cheap out. So after getting the car home, checking out a lot of the sun damage and the faded paint, I tried some juice cut compound on the car. And as usual, it came up amazing. So this is what the sun damage looked like before. And then after using some juice cut compound, it pretty much looks like brand new again. Bring back the gloss where it looks like it was all faded. And being the Ego gray color, it actually has this beautiful purple, gold, and green metallic, which when in the sun just shines like crazy. I ended up selling the wheels that the car came with. So we got rid of those for $500. And then I found myself some original 18-inch 2006 Turbo Territory wheels, which are the wheels that come out on this car from CJ Starkey online. I ended up putting a post on Territory owners and he kindly messaged me and said he had a set that I could have for $200. However, they were painted in this really faded and dirty black. So I got home and started cleaning off the paint with thinners and then realized that the finish of the wheel underneath was actually pretty bad, and I'm guessing that's why they were painted. So I decided to just paint them in the Argent Silver, and then I wrapped them in some brand new 18-inch tires. So all up cost me about $1,000 for the wheels and brand new tires. And there they are on the car. So the car's getting back to what it should look like from original. We found some ABS sensors as well, got those in. So the next stage of this is to fit some inner guard linings, get a turbo boost solenoid on there, give the car a proper service, fully go through it and make sure it's all roadworthy, fix the dents on the bonnet and give that another paint, and then send it in for a roadworthy. So this car is going to be a pretty fun family cruiser. I'm going to do the 7-seat conversion after the roadworthy's done, just in case that creates any issues, but it's all going to be safe and good. So I ended up picking up the 7-seat conversion from the guy. It literally just had the seat. It didn't have any other parts, didn't have seat belts or nothing like that. It took me like a few months to organize to get the parts off this guy. I thought he was not going to give it to me. So yeah, an absolute disaster. The car at the moment owes me just under 10,000, so 9,500 or something, but I've done all of the major stuff. Like a lot of these turbo territories are selling for around that price. However, they do need the diff bushes done, tires done, all that kind of stuff. And that's what I was thinking from the start. Like, so either I go get one for 18 that's roadworthy, maybe it does have a few little things wrong with it, or I just get this cheap one. We learn a few things along the way. And to me, that's more valuable than saving time and just getting it on the road straight away. Like Thomas, my son, who's 14 at the moment, he wants to be a mechanic. And he's so good at figuring out issues and trying things, and he's learnt a lot along the way with the brakes and, you know, even the handbrake cables, and he pointed out a lot of the issues to me himself, and he's learning. And it's super satisfying fixing issues with the car and bringing it back to its former glory from someone who's kind of ruined it. And then we know what's been done to it. We've gone through every little aspect of the car, and it's going to be safe for the family to drive, and we can enjoy some road trips in. So yeah, that's my Territory Turbo build. I do have some parts laying around that I'm going to be put on the car. So 1000cc injectors, I got some valve springs, I got a front mount intercooler to go on it, and probably going to send it in for a tune as well. We might have to do a fuel pump, but if we can get this thing at around 300 at the wheels on 98, that would be amazing. Hopefully the missus can handle that. And yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode and let me know what you think in the comments. I know it's a little bit crazy, but it's what I did and it's what I do. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.